Hey y'all, welcome to another edition of me trying to get my flower beds under control after a wee bit of neglect on my part. I'm Heather. I'm glad you're here. And can you guess what weed we're going to be dealing with today? First thing, we're going to go way back to May 6th to begin this before and after makeover. This is my front walkway in front of my house. I have a bed on each side of the walkway. The bed we're going to focus on is going to be on the left side. The right side I worked on actually quite a bit last late summer, early fall. But this front part I did not, and you can see it is overgrown completely with chickweed everywhere. It is a dense, thick matting of chickweed, and it's just a hodgepodge of a mess. I've got stuff everywhere, but we're going to clean up, make this place look great and beautiful with lots of color. I'm thinking a lot of pinks and reds maybe, and I have some ideas, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with some of my choices. But first, unfortunately, I had to tackle the chickweed. This was such a time-consuming chore, and I did not worry about any of my volunteer seedlings. Usually I have a lot of celosia come up in this bed and other items, 4 o'clocks, etc. I am just going to weed and remove everything that I can for the most part. As I was cleaning up, I noticed that this old scarlet kale from last fall had split itself into two growing parts, which I thought was kind of fascinating. So I wanted to share that with y'all. And look at how long the root was. I mean, it really has been growing for a long time. And there we go. You can see the two separate kale parts. I mean, almost like two plants or two main leaders. I mean, it's not a tomato, so I don't know why I'm calling it a leader, but I've never seen a kale plant grow like this before. So I kind of thought it was pretty fascinating. Now, at this point, it's pretty bitter and old. It's been around a long time, all through winter. I'm going to go ahead and pull it because I need this bed completely evacuated so that we can tackle some of the horrible weeds. And I'm going to remove that dianthus as well. And we're going to relocate it, repurpose it. And wow, look at that. Progress is being made. It is an incredible feeling to get this done. Now, this planter should have been planted a long time ago too. I got that in the ground. And then I continually work to my right. After we started on the left, we worked to the right, and there's still more chickweed under my patio peach tree. And we're going to work through every one of these. These are blackberry lilies, pulling up those weeds. Now this cute little bird, he was finding all kinds of treats and kind of coming behind me as I was pulling everything up. He was down there looking for food. I did go ahead and trim up the ninebark. It looks so different now, being pruned up. It looks great. And then I go down and I work on that lemon balm, weeding as I go, making sure there's nothing that's going to grow up and cause a problem later. Trim back that lemon balm, and then all of the ninebark cuttings from pruning went into a container I was working on, as well as some of the other debris from cleanup. And there we go. It's looking so great. The lemon balm's pruned up real nice and neat. All of the weeds and the chickweed. There's other weeds as well. And I've got my blackberry lilies all ready for blooming. And somehow, mysteriously, a Siberian iris ended up over in this bed, which that's fine. I think it looks great there. Now, I bought this at Aldi's for $8.99. It is a container of coleus. And guess what? We're going to divide it into like, I think 7, 8 plants. They separated easily. Just make sure each chunk that has its own little root ball and some roots before you stick it in the ground. Now, another way we're going to stretch our budget even further, we're going to take suckers just like you would off a basil or tomato. See right there, those little sucker growths? We're going to put those back in that soil in the container and let them root into new plants. And there we go. There's my collection of future plants once they develop roots. Also, pinch off any flowers you see. You don't need them at this point. Actually, keep them pinched. What did I buy on Mother's Day weekend when I took the time to walk around and read the tags and not be too hurried? I found a few items during that trip for this new bed makeover. One is this firepot dahlia. Supposedly it goes down to zone 7. We're going to plant it in that container in the ground so that when I move, I just pop it out and take it with me because I really want that dahlia. I've also taken a cutting off of this and it is developing roots at this very moment. I got this firecracker penstame. You can grow it from seed, but I wanted to go ahead and get it in the ground now. So I just bought one and I divided it. So I have that pop of color on both sides of the fire pot dahlia. And I think it's going to look so pretty to have all these beautiful orange, red, hot pink colors here together in this front walkway. Whereas the chickweed was just kind of a cosmetic nuisance for me, this weed, nutsedge, is horrific. It is hard to deal with. If you pull it, it multiplies underground. The only method I have come up with is to cover it in cardboard, and you have to just keep covering it year after year. Now, I found this old bulb, a bag that had been sitting out literally over a year. I think it's some kind of oxalis. So I am going to put them in the front of the bed in front of that dahlia, but who knows if they'll germinate. Probably not. Now that we've got that done, we're going to move up to the front porch and switch out some of these containers. I want to recycle these pansies from fall into the bed we're working on. So I cleaned them up, cut them all the way down, and we're going to get them planted. But I'm also going to take the time to go ahead and, well, I grew these coleuses from seed. I want to put those in one of the containers. I'm keeping all of my black violas because they still look great. Like they made it all the way through fall and winter and spring. I've got these begonias we're going to put in somewhere. And I also grew this Lorenzo oil safflower from seed as well. We're going to stick that in there somewhere, as well as these dwarf zinnias. We are also going to go ahead and clean up all the containers in this area because they desperately need it. These right here had tons of chickweed as well. I'm going to recycle my overwintered gerber daisies that I kept alive in my garage, literally in my garage, no watering, well, maybe a little water, no sunlight. I've got the Rebecchias I want to plant that I grew from seed. And then from our Mother's Day trip, I have quite a few bedding plants here that I will put into our new bed as well. I just have to make a choice. It's kind of hard to decide sometimes. And then I've got some pepper plants we're also going to plant in this area. On the last trip to Kentucky, I brought back my grandma's antique hummingbird bird bath, and I think it's just perfect in this spot. I love looking at it every day. I can see it out of my dining room window. It is just so precious to me, and it has 2 hummingbirds. She swears it only had 1 when I left with it. And then you can see all the various bedding plants that I'm putting into place. I puncture through the cardboard, I plant and water, and then I push the mulch back around the plant. And you can see this is how we're doing. We're kind of coming along, got lots of plants in place. And I'm starting to add some mulch here and there to insulate around the plant after we puncture that hole through the cardboard. Things are looking better on this little island. I guess it's, I don't know if it's more of a peninsula, this walkway raised bed garden area. I did go to Lowe's today and I got this on clearance for $8. I'm thinking there's probably at least 5 plants in here, and so we're going to divide it up because I feel like we're waiting a long time for some of these to start flowering and blooming, and I really need color now. And for whatever reason, I'm going heavy on the pinks, the dark pinks, and even reds in this area. So I may add, I don't know, I forgot about that Rebecca there. It sure does look like something was eaten on it last night. That's not good. We do have these overwintered gerber daisies here. Wouldn't that look pretty? All right, I have to think about it. Oh, the petunia's open. Hold on. I don't think that's the color it's supposed to be from the tag, but that is okay. It's pretty. It's just not, it's not what I bought. So we got it divided into 4 chunks. We could have tried to separate this crown even further, a couple of them, but I decided I wanted them to flower soon instead of putting them into major shock. So they're ready for planting. The 2 that have flowers now or getting ready to flower, I'm going to put up here, and I'm going to swap out with the 2 I had planted a couple days ago. That looks so happy. Definitely glad I put the ones that are flowering now up so I can see them and get some color going, because it's a little bland right now, right? So we've got 2 more of that same pretty pink. So I'm going to put 1 on the corner here, right here. We've got the white snapdragon. We've got these dwarf straw flowers if they bounce back. They're a little stunted, and they may be kind of stunted in growth. We'll see. They kind of look better to me already in color. They may pull out of it, but we're going to put one right there. We're going to put that second one right here, kind of to mirror what's going on the other side. All right, they look good. They look great. I like that. And then I like the two here and the planters. I gotta find somewhere to relocate the ones that overwintered in my garage. Now, probably not this area, but maybe backyard. We'll see. They can do part sun, but they do bloom better in full sun. Gerber daisy. So see how there's kind of like this opening here in front of the vinca? Poor little guys. They're looking a little stressed. They are, because this was supposed to be a 4-pack, but I got 5, 6, 7, 7-ish plants. So they were double seeded in the pack. And so I separated them, and they're a little shocky right now. They'll bounce back though. But in this empty spot, this whole big empty spot, I'm going to put some holes and slits into the cardboard. And then over top, we're going to put some compost, some ground soil. Gonna make a nice little mound, and I'm gonna plant some petite dwarf baby watermelons. We might do sugar baby, something that won't get huge, and then I will just have it trail through this little bed, and maybe we'll get 2 to 4 small size personal watermelons out of that. But I think it'll look cute here in this area, and I can utilize that little pocket of sun there to grow a few little baby watermelons. And here I am just quickly going through the steps of how I plant something when I'm planting over top of cardboard. I need to puncture holes all the way down to the ground level to the soil so that the roots can tap down in there. I did several slits, and then I'm putting down compost, I'm putting down potting mix, I'm putting down garden soil, whatever I have to make a nice mounded bed for that seed. And now we're going to look at my coleus. I wanted to let you know they did all of those cuttings developed roots. All right, guys, it's time for the big reveal for this flower bed makeover. The left of the walkway here, lemon balm trimmed up, looking good. Ninebark is now beautiful and stunning. It really took well to all the pruning. It is just gorgeous. Peach tree looking gorgeous as well. Do see a little bit I needed to trim on the ninebark. I'll get that. We recycled some old pansies. I can see one getting ready to open. Coleus. It's a lot of heat, a lot of sun on the coleus. It's been really hot the last few days. We've got our one tomato there. King of the North, King of Siberia? Golden King of Siberia. That's what it is. And we've got lots of peppers, some zinnia, and the birdbath is empty. It's getting ready to rain for like 5 days. That's why I didn't water today. Moss rose here in this container. We've got some heuchera with the blueberry. And this is the back side. We'll get a front side view here in a second of the makeover. More peppers, perennial grass, spikes, recycled from years ago. They survived the winter though. I do have some nutsedge popping back up. We're just going to have to keep burying it. I can't pull it because then we'll just multiply the process, multiply the little bulbs under the ground. All these containers got cleaned up. Lady in Black aster. Some dianthus that needs to recover. Various other items. There's the coleus I grew from seed. And purple love grass, and we've got a penstame in there as well. And then this container, the Gerber daisies took great to division. As you can see, this one's blooming now too. So this video has obviously progressed over a few weeks, a couple weeks. Peppers looking good. I did have my pansies eaten down to nothing, so I've been putting out slug bait. We didn't talk about this yet, but this is showy evening primrose. It is in a container for good reason. It will take over. It will, but it's so beautiful. That's why I haven't gotten rid of it. Got to keep it in a container. And then all of these got cleaned up as well. we'll just touch on them because I'm not really trying to do a garden tour. I'm just trying to show you what we worked on with this big redo. Because it was a big job, right? It was a really big job. And now the front side of the redo. Still no germination on those little sugar baby well, wait a minute, maybe. Something green might be popping. Oh, yeah, it is trying to germinate. Yep, okay, so one. In our vinca, and we just looked at these 2 containers. Another Gerber daisy from that division. That really saves money, saves a lot of money if you can divide things up. The white snapdragons have not bloomed yet. Another blueberry with the same heuchera. And then this guy that we divided, the penstame firecracker. The dahlia, oh, there's a toad. The dahlia is getting a lot of slug pressure, a lot of slug damage. I'm not happy about that. We're going to have to keep an eye on it. Some more of the firecracker penstame. So pretty. So pretty. One more thing to add here. My 4 o'clocks are starting to come back. I was hopeful that they didn't survive winter, or rough winter, and I was hopeful the cardboard and all that mulching would not allow them to come through, but they are. And that's going to make for a very crowded, kind of messy feel here. Not what I was planning, but I'm just going to go with it and see how they turn out. And there we are. Things look so much better than when we started. I think the calendula seedlings, as well as the dwarf zinnia seedlings, are taking on a much better color than when we first planted them out. They were looking really sad. Like, I was really worried about them. And overall, everything looks a little spent because we just went through 4 days of a major heat wave, like near 100. Tried to water every day, but I knew we were getting a ton of rain coming, so I slowed down. I didn't water today, and I don't think I watered yesterday. If I did, it was just a wee bit here and there. So what do you think? Big difference? I think it looks a lot better. It's a unique combination of different plants. Some should come back, some won't. Some will self-seed, some won't. But it's a fun color palette for me. I think I've got a lot of pinks, a lot of reds. Remember the dahlia here, firepot will be like a red, orange. It might have a hint of pink in it. And then once we get all our peppers going, we'll have some food in this area as well. And I love my mamaw's bird bath. So happy I brought it home from Kentucky. All right, guys. Well, I will talk to you soon. I hope you had fun. This is a long video, but I appreciate you being here.